Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of our podcast, Late Night with MDXD. I'm hosting today, so the theme is kind of just about relationships and stuff and our takes on some relationship questions I have prepared. So, yes.
And our drink of the podcast today is our Cinnabon coffee that we had for breakfast this morning.
Yes.
Yeah. Start us off, baby.
Okay.
Wait, before you start, don't forget to subscribe and like this. Also, if you did not catch our last podcast video, we are on Spotify now. So follow us on Spotify too. Spotify too.
Spotify.
There we go. All right. Now you can start.
Okay. So I have different categories basically. Okay. So first we're going to talk about early stages of when you enter a relationship and stuff. All right. So first question, how long should the talking stage be?
I'll say this is our personal opinions. Just to put that out there.
So like I said, early stages of a relationship. First question, how long should the talking stage be?
I think for me, I'll say 1 to 2 months. I think for me, it just all depends how much time you're spending together, or you're constantly texting each other. Because it's if you only see each other once a week, then I feel like it would last longer. But if you see each other every single day, kind of like how we were, then I feel like it would have been faster because you get acquainted with that person faster. You kind of learn their stuff faster. So
okay,
I say for me,
yes,
a month or 2. What about you?
I feel same along those lines. I feel like once it hits probably 3 months, then I think that's when you should start thinking about if that person's right for you and stuff. Just because once it hits 4 months, I feel like that's kind of a lot. 6 months is kind of crazy. Because I feel you only need so much time to get to know someone. And it's not you know the nitty gritty of when you're in the talking stage. It's kind of just knowing them and knowing what they're like and seeing okay, does this mesh with my personality and how I operate and stuff. Sorry if y'all hear some noise in the background, by the way.
They're vacuuming
yes.
the apartment hallways right now.
Yeah, so sorry if you can hear that, but I'm trying to talk into the mic as well as I can. But yeah, I think probably just a couple months. Yeah, and I feel if you're seeing each other, then that talking stage will definitely be shorter. So I agree with that. But me and her didn't have any type of relationship prior to talking to each other. So I think also if you're starting from square one, it's definitely going to take longer. So this goes into the second question. Do friendships require them to have a talking stage prior to having a relationship?
I'll say you can be, I say friends. It doesn't have to be best friend, but friends at least. Because I think friends is kind of you want to hang out with them and you're always talking to them and all that. I feel like in the friend stage, it's kind of when friend stage going into the talking stage is kind of right there. You're kind of building chemistry with this person to see if you can bounce off one another well and stuff. So I think that I'll say yes, because for me, it's for chemistry purposes.
Good take. I feel if you're in a friendship or you already have an established relationship, you don't need to have a talking stage where you're asking what their favorite color is or something. That basic stuff you don't need to ask.
Yeah.
So I feel there's a difference though when you're interested in someone and the other person knows you're interested romantically. That I feel the dynamic kind of changes, and I think that's why a lot of friendships don't are scared to hit that stage of being in a relationship because they don't want to ruin their friendship and stuff. So I think I don't even know if I would consider it a talking stage, but maybe feel the air and feel I feel you kind of have to be more cautious. Okay, is it worth it to try and work this out in a relationship kind of manner and stuff? But yeah, I don't think you need a formal talking stage and stuff. It's definitely not going to take 2 or 3 months. I feel the talking stage isn't getting to know someone in that case. It's more seeing if you're both ready for a relationship and stuff like that. Because sometimes people are just better as friends. Sorry to say it. But I do think that, like, if you're already friends, it's so much easier to get into a relationship. And there's no, like, awkwardness or tension where, like, it always has to be, like, romantic or something. Like, you already know that person.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I think, like you said, I'd rather have, like, a best friend as a partner rather than, like, trying to get into it. And it's always, like, lovey-lovey and stuff. Should asking to be boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever relationship you like, should that be a romantic gesture? Or is it just like, oh, can you be my partner? Like, can you be my girlfriend?
I say that's definitely romantic and stuff. It's like, again, with the stages thing, like, you go from friendship to talking to dating, which is the boyfriend-girlfriend thing. And it's like, you're not, like, if I was going to compare dating to, like, being married, like, they're not the same because you're obviously married to that person. But dating, like, I feel like that's, like, a big step to asking someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to ask, at least, because I know sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not ready for that stage yet or something. Or even if they're hanging out a lot and the one person may get, like, mixed feelings or thinking one thing but the other may not be thinking. So, but it's kind of like, yeah, like a romantic gesture and stuff. Because, like, you wouldn't take a friend, like, on a sunset date or anything like that, at least from my perspective. But you would take, like, your girlfriend or your significant other and stuff.
I think it should also be romantic, only because I feel like it kind of shows that you're, like, really want that person. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but I think it's, like, when people say, like, even if you're in a relationship, you should still be, like, you don't have them. Like, you're still wanting to keep them. You still want them to, like, be in love with you. You want to, like, almost win them over. So I feel like having it romantic can, like, do that and be like, oh, I really want you, and show that person, like, I'm willing and ready to take it to the next level, like you said. And I think just, like, I don't know. I think it also depends, though, on the person and what they like. Like, some people do not like physical touch. They don't like all that romance stuff. Like, they might like something more calm and, like, chill. But for me, like, I love anything romantic. So that's why I think in certain times, like, or certain dates we go on, like, some will be more romantic and then some will be, like, more casual, spontaneous. And I think I like that good, like, balance. When do you know when you can say I love you in a relationship? That L word.
For me, I think if not, like when you ask the person to be your significant other, at least, like, a week or two after, but not waiting, like, for a month.
To say I love you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's crazy. Okay. Yes.
Because I feel like I know some people, they take that I love you very seriously, and so they want to try and, like play it out and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think for me, it would be very, very soon, if not. But for you, I said it with you and stuff, like when I first asked you out. But
we were saying that shit before we got together.
Yeah. Well, we're not gonna debunkle the past on this podcast episode. Yeah. But I know some people, they just say, like we did, like, just out of just bullshitting and shit.
Yeah.
But, like, I know some people, they, like, really, really, like, wholeheartedly, like, only say those words to certain people. Mm-hmm. But for me, if I was, like, for us, like, I think right when you would ask someone to be their significant other, but not, like, waiting forever. But that's just a personal preference.
Okay, that was a very interesting take, only because, like, I've heard other people talk about it, and they say, like, they would rather wait than say it sooner. Yeah. So I thought you were going to say something along those lines.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, a month. I mean, for me, this is all me. I would do it earlier because, like, if I was going to ask you, I have to really love you. And I did really love you, so that's why I asked you out. Huh. So therefore, yes. Why would I not say I love you?
Okay, very interesting. Well, I feel like when people first get into a relationship, they're still not at that stage where they're fully comfortable. They're fully, like, this is what we are. Like, it's hard to tell when someone's in a relationship where they're at. But, like, when you first get there, I feel like you're not at that I love you stage yet. Only because, like I said, like, once you hit that relationship, it's not like you're going to know every single detail about them. You're not going to know, like, their family past, how they may feel, how they may respond to things. And usually when you're first starting, like most of the time, there's nothing bad that has happened that tested your relationship already. So I feel like that's kind of like into it as well. Like once you hit that hard part, that's when you know like, damn, I can make it through the thick and thin with this person. And I feel like that's when you can kind of show like, that's real love. Because when like shit goes bad or something, it's very easy to just walk away. But I mean, for me, when I was going to answer this question, I was thinking like, I think it depends on who you are. For me, I feel like that phrase is very sacred to me. But also then again, it's very like, I'm very used to saying I love you in the sense of like bullshitting, like joking around, but like not, like I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's not that I don't mean it, I just don't mean it in that romantic, like, I love you, you know? Like, if that makes sense. So, like, I don't mind saying it to friends and stuff, but like, I feel like it tests me when like people that don't expect to say it, and I'm like, I don't know if I should say it back, or I get scared to say it back. Like, with your parents, when they say it, I'm like, it's hard for me to say it back. I don't know why. Like, it's just like, that's the first time I've ever been tested. Because my mom always used to force me and my brother when we were getting out the car when we dropped off at school, like, say I love you. But yeah, I was like, I realized how sacred it is to me after hearing people like say they love me when it's like, I can't imagine them loving me, if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
But yeah, I was going to say like a month or 2 months is kind of like early to say it. Like, I'm thinking in general, because we definitely didn't follow those standards. But yeah, I definitely think how fast you're going in the relationship matters. And I feel like saying I love you, to me, since it's sacred, it shouldn't be like just an I love you when you're saying bye on the phone, or like saying I love you like just cuz. Like, I feel like when you say it, you should mean it. So I think that's why waiting a long time might help, because like I feel like the like honeymoon stage might make you think like you're so in love, and then when things get hard, it's like, I don't know this person, or like I don't know, like when things are kind of going on the downhill and you feel like you're about to like be breaking up, or like after you single and you realize like I didn't really love this person, but I said I love you. Saying I love you should be something where it's like I'm 100% in it. Then you should say it. Are there any conversations that couples should have in the early stages of their relationship?
I think an important one is, let's say if you were just in a relationship, you just got out of one, and then you ended up dating this person. I think like if you're healing from something, whatever that may be, and even like, I know mental health these days, so definitely how your mental health is, and kind of just also like whether if the person, like how the person reacts, whether they're mad at you or they're mad at something else, like how like you as a partner can help them like feel better and stuff, just general of that. Because I feel like if you don't ask them like how they can help, then you can just get like you could just get like mixed signals and actually make a situation worse than better. So I feel like those things are the biggest ones for me. I know some people, they want to like learn their love language and stuff, but I don't think the things that I just said is more.
Those.
Yeah.
There's so many questions you could ask, but I think in the early stages it's hard to bring up tough conversations, or like the more emotional deep stuff, because you're still trying to get to know like that person like through the surface level and all that. But I think talking about stuff that is about the relationship matters, because I feel like we didn't, and we kind of had to figure it out as long as we went, and it kind of like was harder when like it was always after something that we had a misunderstanding, and then we had to talk about it after. So I think knowing before about stuff about the other person, I definitely think about the just getting out of a relationship one is a good one, or like maybe some past things that might affect them, or like stuff that could trigger them, or stuff that you should be aware about to bring up, or when you're bringing it up or not to bring up. Just because like I don't think anyone would want to put their partner in a deep hole or anything like that, because I've heard people say that when they get into a relationship, like they either date to marry or they're dating for a good time. And it's like those two things are like, I feel like they could be hand in hand. But for me, I always thought of myself as a person like dating to marry, because I feel like when you say for a fun time, it's just like, oh, I'm here to like do all that, like not get to know the person, or like just like cruising in the relationship rather than trying to be all deep and stuff, and like thinking of it just like another good person to have good memories with. And like they don't think like, oh, I could like progress in this relationship and hit like this is my end game person. Like I feel like that, to me, I always like wonder like what's the point, because then like I feel like the pain of breaking up, like, does it not hurt as much? Like, do you not feel pain when you break up with someone? And I feel like that's also like leading that person on, because if you just want someone for a good time, then I feel like you just need like a sneaky link or someone to hit up whenever you feel the need to have someone. Like, girl, if you want some cuddles, you do not need to be in a relationship. Because like if all you want is that physical intimacy or like surface level intimacy, then I don't think you should be in a relationship. Because I feel like nowadays, like, it's so easy to get played, and like you do not need to be playing another person when someone wants to be like end game. And like, what if things progress and you want it to be end game and then the other person doesn't and stuff like that? Like, there's just so many things. Were you ever in that stage of like, I'm dating this person for a good fucking time? But you also have to think about like when you're in high school, when you're like younger, you don't really know. But for me, I'm a lover motherfucking girl. So I love hard, I fall hard. So I feel like I've always just been that person. But
I will say, before I met you, I feel like I was a dating to have a good time person, just because I've never seen myself as like getting married. Like my past partners, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I've never seen them as like walking down the aisle with them or anything like that, or like I just haven't found like, because I know some people, they have to like date a couple people in order to figure out themselves and what they want in a partner. With you, it's definitely dating to marry now. You definitely changed that for me, because like I do see myself getting married and stuff now. It used to be dating to love, just because I haven't seen myself getting married, but now it's dating to marry now. And it's just like you're getting older, and like you see like other people your age like getting married, having kids now. So I know some people, they have, when they reach a certain age, they feel unaccomplished with their life because they don't have a partner, they don't have kids or anything like that and stuff. So it's like, not that I feel like unaccomplished.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, when you're younger, you kind of just like could take it for granted, or it's like, some bro, like I just remember like in elementary or middle school, or like when you're just young and shit and you're in school, and like there was literal games like, or people just wanted to put two people together and put them in a relationship, or people would do like getting married on the playground, playing
that
Oreo.
one I never did.
I never did that either. I never did that.
I was always playing basketball at recess. I'm not gonna...
Honestly, low-key same. I remember like if someone liked me, then I just felt like, oh my god, like okay, period. And I'd be like, you just like them back because they liked you. Like, that is so common when you're younger. And I think it's just because it's like these are the only people you're surrounded by for years, and it's like, well, why not? You're not gonna like be seeing people most of the time outside of school and stuff. So I feel like, yeah, it's very surface level. But I think like whenever I got into a relationship, I never really thought of it as a good time. But that's also because I couldn't like do the shit that people would do to have a good time. Like I couldn't like sneak out or stuff like that, or whatever it is that you would want to do. So I was just like, all I got is my phone, so that's all I got, bro. But then
you made it work.
Yes. But yeah, I haven't even been in many relationships at all. Thank you very much. But yeah, so I don't really have much to say about that, because it's not like I was looking for a good time either way. Does spark fade over time in relationships?
I'll say it can, just because whenever you go through hard times with a person, I feel like right then and there, like some people tend to lose spark or realize like, I don't know who I'm dating, or I don't know this person, but really it's just like that person just running off emotion. The spark for me comes back as soon as you resolve it, because it really shows how much you care and want to resolve everything with this person. If you take the opportunity to resolve arguments and like take time to like do things to like bring that spark back and stuff, because once the spark's gone, I won't say that it's completely gone. You can definitely work to get it back.
I feel like it does, not in the same sense though. I was thinking more like, I feel like the first couple months, maybe even 6 months, even like a year, there's always just a time where it's like what people call the honeymoon phase, or seeing the relationship through rose-colored glasses and all that. And I feel like that's very true, because I feel like when you're in the start, like I said, there's never really something bad happening or something going wrong, or it's like something very small. And it's like, I feel like when you're first getting into it, like you feel so in love with that person because it's like so fresh, so new, and it's like someone's making you feel loved and wanted and desired and all that. But I feel like once it gets like, oh, you're comfortable, or it's been a really long time with that person, or like after like we moved in together, like that could definitely be something where it's like you kind of just like go into the motions of things and get lost in like the other things in your life. And I think that's like the spark will fade. Like it won't go away, but it will just like fade. Like it'll just be like, okay, like we're in a relationship, but it's not like feeling like sunshine and rainbows and like, oh, I'm on a high all the time like it was in the start. So I feel like in that case, it can. What keeps the relationship stay fresh or like keep that spark always there and stuff.
I think for me, just always doing something new with that person, like going to different places, whether it's something small like getting new coffee, because I know we enjoy that a lot, trying new coffee and like boba spots and stuff. Even the small things like bring home some like a snack from one of your favorite like fast foods. I'd be happy with if you made me a paper airplane, like coming home like, look what I made. It doesn't have to be like spending money or anything like that, because I know we broke. We don't got money to our name yet. Yeah, but even
we're college students.
Yes, thank you.
We're studious.
Yes,
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Not
or
no
even like going to a park and doing like a new activity, whether it's walking, throwing a frisbee, even just little things like that. Or even like with our Xbox, like we're gonna try out playing Mario Kart on an Xbox. So she got me into playing Minecraft a little bit. It still stresses me the fuck out. I still get frustrated as fuck with it. I have to teach you how to play 2K. And then we'll try Mario Kart. Yeah, we'll try Mario Kart together. So it's things like that. Like it doesn't even involve like going out and spending money. It can involve like cooking, like making desserts.
I feel like trying new things is definitely important. And like once you get comfortable, it's kind of like, yeah, like it's very predictable what's gonna happen. Or like you might think like, oh, we're already like so deep into the relationship, we don't even need to do that. But I think trying new things is always fun. It's more like creating memories, but like heavy on the memorable part. Maybe one day like you have a lot of chores to do, but you're like, fuck it, like let's do something else and let's have some one-on-one time. Like even today, I'm surprised I was just like, let's go have a date, like a day full of dates.
You know what I'll say? One chore that you don't like, but I do like doing with you is laundry. I don't know why, but I like doing laundry.
You do like that.
I do like doing laundry with you and folding and stuff, no matter how much like you don't like it. I don't know. I just that's one chore that I do like doing with you. Like I don't know why, but it's just fun for me. Okay, we're gonna take this moment to do a plug-in. We have a plug-in for today.
So guys, I have a Depop account. So it'll be right here in the middle.
Link is also in the description below.
Yes. I'm having, I think, about 5-6 things up there. And I'm trying to get people to buy stuff. But yeah, if you guys want to hop in and buy something, feel free, guys. I also have bundles and stuff, so you won't pay for all the shipping items. You'll just pay for the highest one. So if you guys buy multiple items, that'll be very much appreciated. It'll be in the description, like she said. So feel free to pop into that.
Yep, go check out her Depop shop.
So this is going to be relationship needs. First one is top 3 habits or things that relationships need to be healthy or happy, whatever. If you have more than 3 or less than 3.
Number 1, communication.
Communication.
Yes, no matter how much people say it, I feel like it doesn't happen enough. I think for me, I'd rather have over communication than less communication. But granted, yes, we do forget to communicate accidentally. Like that happens. Like if we're in a rush or something, or we just genuinely forgot. It's fine and stuff like. But I think for me, just communication just lets the other person know, kind of keeps them in the loop, but also knows that if you're going somewhere, like, that you're safe. Number 2, listening and understanding. I don't know if you want to consider that, like, as 2 separate things or one thing together, but listening and understanding. Definitely be able to listen to the partner if they're like, give...
Sorry, I was like, oh, I got it though.
I have no idea what she was doing.
Wait, let me wipe this for you. It's okay. Go ahead.
Listening and understanding. Being able to listen to your partner when they're telling you something that is making them feel a way, or they're just like venting about something that's like really on their mind. Being able to understand what they're saying, like if they're telling you like you made them feel a way or something happened that you particularly didn't like that's not like communicating that and understanding that isn't like, oh, they don't like you at all. It's just like everybody has their things that they like and don't like, and that may be one thing that they don't like. And I feel like once you keep doing something that they don't like that's a way to like not get tired of them, but like kind of just avoiding or hoping that they wouldn't do it. But I feel like just simple like listening and understanding is very helpful too, because I know that it's hard to like being able to vent to a person if you may say something but they don't understand or they don't listen, and they come back with something like, oh, you could do this in like not the helpful way, if you know what I mean. Being helpful or being considerate, I'll say, because I know, like, I think about it a lot, and I know we had a conversation about it where like you feel like one person has to do everything, or because of like gender norms, but there isn't really no gender norms here. Like you have to do all the cleaning, you have to do all the cooking, but no, it's just I feel like it helps not only us together but us individually, because we both have our own schoolwork, but helping around the house like with chores or cooking, or usually how we do it is like one person cooks, the other person does dishes, kind of stuff like that. Like you split the chores, like one person doesn't have to do everything. But I think we don't mind if we do it, because if the other person has schoolwork to do or has something that's a priority number one compared to everything else, then we have no problem doing it. But I think just sharing like chores, not making one person do everything, or even just asking the person even if they want to do it by themselves, because again, if you want to clean by yourself, you want to clean by yourself, because I know some people like they take cleaning like as therapy and stuff. So if you want to clean the whole house and use that as your therapy, I feel like even just offering if they can help, or can I do anything for you or anything like that. Like I know when we're busy doing schoolwork and one of us isn't, then I know we always ask each other if there's anything that we can do or anything that we can help. I feel like just maybe not doing anything, but also just like even being considerate of asking.
I think in a relationship, one thing should be always trying to make that person feel special and stuff. Like I said, like you still want them to you still want to make them your partner. Like it's still fresh and still new and all that. And I feel like, especially if you're always around that person, but like you don't feel special, or like it's not like those like one in a million moments where it's like I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like this is like a really good day, a really good moment, a really good like whatever. So I feel like having spontaneous moments of like wanting to do something together is really nice. Like I feel like always having something to do with that person and never being bored and never feeling too comfortable, and always just feeling like you're always doing something with that person, and like in a romantic way, not just like a friend or anything. And then I also feel like in general, kind of like basically what she said, but in general, I think having hard conversations and like everything that, like you said, inside of the conversation, being understanding, listening, hearing what that person wants and needs, and like kind of having an open outlet for either person to talk about what they're feeling. And like, I think instead of thinking it's always self-blame or blaming someone else, like think of it as you guys against whatever the problem is or whatever is going on and stuff. And I guess like thinking about it in a sense where like all you want is to help the person, or all you want is the other person to help you. So kind of think of it as like they're still in a relationship and you're still in a relationship. So kind of take it with a grain of salt and like treat them like you still love them and stuff. Even when like you feel emotionally driven by anger or sadness or whatever it is. I think that's important. And then last one, I feel like I would say, I don't know if I want to be funny or like actually be for real. I mean, I'm being for real, but it's funny. But I would say be experimental. I think that's important in the sense of like, sure, she thinks I want to go into it, but I'm not even going there yet.
She said yet.
I think like when we started journaling and stuff, it was us experimenting with a new way to be communicated with each other, but instead of verbally, we're doing it by handwriting it, having something more visual. And I think that helps with, like, if you're feeling like you can't express your feelings by, like, talking about it, or maybe you need to take a step back and organize your thoughts or stuff like that. I think journaling has helped us to have that outlet too. And, like, even trying new things, like with the food and stuff, it helps. That's something that will keep it fresh. So I feel like not being scared to try new things, or not being scared to do something because the other person may not like it, or the other person may not be completely open to it. I think having that conversation and being willing and ready to be experimental with, like, anything, I think will also progress your relationship, because I feel like if you have like a driven curiosity to do stuff with this person or do something for the other person, it'll just make the relationship feel so much closer and more intimate in a way that I feel like you can't really get there if you're just completely surface level or you're cruising all the time. Like, you can do it seriously. Okay, now I'm gonna get into it. She's gonna start laughing. You can be experimental with physical intimacy. There you go. I won't say the word but yeah, sex. You're probably gonna bleep that out and shit. But yeah, that's another way to be experimental, even if it's uncomfortable. Or, like, I don't know. Or maybe you're so used to doing another habit and you may want to try something else or do it a new way. Like, that's definitely something that could definitely keep it, like, very intimate, very close. So what should couples do when they hit the stage of constant arguments or misunderstandings?
Definitely, number one, have a talk about it. And one thing I've learned and we've learned together is don't put it off, because that could cause more damage. That could cause more damage than making anything better. Yes. I feel like no matter how much you want to put it off, no matter how much, like, it's one conversation you really don't want to have with this person, it's a very important one. Because whatever stage you may be in, no matter how old you may be, anything like that, like, your life is constantly changing. You encounter new things every day. You realize things about your person as you get older. So I think having that conversation is definitely important, because we're not the same people when we first got together and stuff. We've definitely, like, tacked on some more adulting things. We've got older in age. Our body feels like it. Our bones are cracking.
She just put me into reality with that sentence, for real. Damn, she said, we old.
Hey, I feel like
we ancient.
Because we played sports in high school.
Yeah, my back will never recover. My back is done for. Everything. Legs done for. Knees done for.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, like, even probably at the end of the year or next year, like, we might not be safe. It depends what we get into. Like, if we start a job, if something happens with school, or any outside other factors. Like, I feel like we're human. We're always constantly evolving. We're always constantly changing. So I feel like your needs and wants and how you process things and what you want from your partner, what you need from your partner may change from when you first got together to now. I know for us it has. So I feel like the way we were is we were just going things based off, like, what each other needed from the beginning of the relationship. But now obviously we're different, so we had to have a talk about it and understand what we need, what the person is going through, how certain things are making them feel, and just what they need or want from not only themselves but from their significant other as well, to help them out as well. So I think it is definitely important to talk about it, and just honestly, no matter who the person is in the relationship, man, woman, female, male, whatever it may be, like, it shouldn't depend on, like, one person to initiate the talk. It should be both people wanting to talk, because if one person wants to talk, the other really doesn't, then I feel like both of you guys won't approach it the same way and stuff. But I think, yes, not wait too long, but make sure this timing is right as well. Like, if you're, like, mad at each other or it's just not a good day, then just feel out the day, wait for a good time. Because I know for us, when we get hot-headed, like, that's definitely not a time to talk. That's definitely not a time to talk.
Mostly her.
But I think once you've like calmed down, whatever, like you need space or something, definitely having that hard talk, no matter how hard it is, no matter how long it takes. It's better to buckle everything in that one instance than just spreading it apart among time.
I feel like arguments or misunderstandings can be like misunderstood. Whoa, that was crazy. Hold on. But like they can be interpreted in very different ways from the other person too. Especially like you said, if you wait or if you don't communicate about what is going on with you, it could definitely be like interpreted in so many ways, and the other person will just be forced to assume random things and stuff like that. And it could definitely make it worse in the sense like when someone keeps assuming or being confused, being concerned as well, like it could definitely induce a lot of stress, not only on the person that's feeling it, but the person that's being impacted by the way the other person's feeling and not communicating with it. So I feel like, yeah, definitely talking about it. And I think also like that's why having that early conversation, even though like you might change as people, knowing like what their expectations are, maybe like even if they're changed, you will still know the way they'll approach it, even if they're what they desire is a little bit different. So I think talking about it and also understanding just like what they want out of it, like you said, the wants and needs, all that stuff, I think it's important too. And I feel like when you change as a person, it's kind of hard to like say that you change because you might want the same things, or literally it could be that one moment and it's like I really just need this like right now, and maybe every other time I still feel the same. So I think just even if you can't talk about what's wrong, maybe talk about what you need, like whether it's comfort, advice, just listening, a distraction, just them being with you like in silence or getting something to do. Like I think having a proper way of talking about it, even if you can't talk about it in that way, like maybe you need to step back because you're emotionally like all over the place, then I feel like that's okay too. Like you said, definitely has to be like a good time, so people can be more open-minded. And I feel like it depends on the person because like in my case, I think I very much can feel my emotions very high. So if I'm feeling very happy, I'll feel super happy, and if I feel like sad, I feel super like sad. It's like definitely like high highs and low lows. So it's like when things feel like something's like going wrong, like it feels like my life is in the gutter. Or sometimes if you wait, things will tackle onto each other and it just makes it a million times worse. So definitely talking like whenever you can, as soon as possible, definitely will help. And like will definitely help the other person too. Which is why I said you have to be aware that everything you do, everything you feel, the other person will feel it just as much too. So I think that's why you have to like kind of understand. And I think you should also look at it in like a more optimistic perspective than like a pessimistic one. Because I feel like once you hit there, you're like, damn, it's just like gonna work out. Or it's like, why are we like this? Like we were so good like just a week ago. Or like maybe your day will do a 180 and like you were having such a good day and then something like, I don't know, a misunderstanding comes about and then like your day feels like it just flipped upside down. And we've had moments like that. And I feel like we would wait because we'd be like, I don't know, scared to talk about it or be confused or just not want to ruin any good moment that was like already there. So I think just knowing like just take it as an opportunity for you guys to feel closer to each other, and like even if there's another misunderstanding, like having that kind of like, what is it like when you don't say it, but it's like you both know it's there. Fucking, I don't know. Like
I'm not intelligent enough to know that
like,
word.
I know like the phrase, but like
phrase.
An unsaid agreement between two people, where it's like,
I know you can hero.
You could talk to me, I could talk to you, and like no matter how many times it goes wrong, like I just want to be closer to you. So I just wanted to touch briefly on the struggles of woman love woman relationships, WLW type shit, because I feel like there's very few people that like touch on it, and it's very like, I feel like when you see these type of relationships between two women, it's definitely like different than a heterosexual relationship. And I feel like people usually either talk about the really bad shit or the really good shit, but never like the nitty gritties of a relationship. There's this stereotype. Okay, I'm talking about stereotypes here, but we could talk about other things that I could bring up. But this one I think is the most popular. Even like the people that aren't lesbian know it. So in these relationships, the two women tend to fall in love too fast, commit too fast. They want to move in already. They say they want to get married way too quickly, and then they end up breaking up. Stereotype. What's your take on that? Have you heard of that?
I have not, to be honest. I have not heard of that
shock.
one.
Really? Mm-mm. I feel like that's the top one I'd be hearing. Because I feel like everyone just says, like, even between gay relationships or heterosexual relationships, like, they just say they're not moving too fast at all. They're going at a steady pace. But when it comes to woman and woman, they're moving way too fast. So.
I've not heard that one.
Wow. Okay, okay, then do you agree, disagree? What do you think? You've been in multiple relationships. Okay. I could have went a different way with that. But what do you think? Or maybe if you know someone else. I mean, you were in the basketball team, so I mean, full of gays. So.
And you're one of them.
I was told I was gay before I even knew, so should have never joined basketball.
I was very clear of that.
Girl, I was such okay. Just say your piece.
Okay, yeah,
more time to think about it.
Yeah,
you sure?
Go ahead, go first. Cause I haven't heard it, I was like,
okay. Oh, I was gonna say I agree.
Okay.
But I think that's also because I'm a lover girl. But I feel like women are just more emotionally like there. Like I feel like, but also can be into societal gender norms. Well, that was crazy. I just sounded so fucking smart. Anyways,
you are so fucking smart.
But yeah, I feel like men are always just a tough, like emotionless, like stoic person that they can't even like express themselves. But I feel like women, when they're in a relationship, like they just love hard, they fall hard, they like once they find someone that they really like, I feel like they're kind of all in like immediately. So I feel like that's why. I think it's true, but I don't think like it's a good and bad thing, because I think if you're fully committed, it kind of shows like you're not willing. I mean, like you're not open to anything else but this person. So I feel like you're fully committed. But then again, I've seen a lot of relationships end because the other person cheated. But yeah, I feel like they definitely fall in love like very quickly. I feel like relationships, like when it comes to two women, they definitely move in like fucking within 3 months. Like they say they want to get married and then they end up breaking up like way too quickly after the fact. So I don't know. I feel like it's true, but I thought everyone knew this. I've heard a lot of people say it.
I think first, because most of my relationships were in high school, it's like in high school it's easier to spend time with each other, especially like if you're doing the same sport. And again, you go to school, you spend time with that person, and then you go to practice, you have games and outside team activities, so you're kind of spending time with that person. So I can see how, yes, it does tend to move fast. I feel like it also tends to move fast like on a woman on woman relationship, because like women kind of understand each other, and so like it's like if you feel one pain, I'll feel the same pain. And like I feel like in a heterosexual relationship, it's harder to feel because it's a man and a woman. And like men men kind of don't feel the same like pain or understand how women feel. Men be like, everybody, at least everybody knows.
I know where you're going with this.
Men say that when they feel sick, it's like the same pain that women feel during childbirth. And I'm like, that's definitely so false.
Or like when they say like getting kicked in the balls is the same as like a period cramp.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, what?
Yeah. And it's
how is that even comparable?
Yeah. And I feel like on YouTube, like, or social media or whatever, like if men try to like pain simulate, they can barely do it. So it's like, and like if you put it on a woman, like they have no problem doing chores, washing dishes and all that stuff. So it's kind of like with us, like you kind of feel like the other person is feeling, whether it's emotionally, physically, and all that. So it's like easier to connect with a person that way, especially if you understand them and stuff. So
I feel like whenever I see a relationship between two women, it's kind of the stereotype of like there's the stud, the one that's basically like the embodiment of what you would like think of as like a girl being a man, like the tomboyish kind of, and then there's the like the feminine, the femi, right? Like is the girly girl. So I feel like, yeah, what's your take on that? Like,
I'll say from us, I'm kind of more the tomboy and stuff, and you're like kind of the girl, but she also does wear tomboy stuff, kind of dress the same at times. But I'll say yes, it's more common to see stud and femme relationship, but I have seen like stud on stud relationships. I've seen femme on femme relationships. I've seen all of them, like just on social media and stuff. Yeah. But I feel like if it's like a stud on femme, some people like have that thing, like assume like, oh, they're together. When it comes to like femme on femme, like I feel like some people view it as like, oh, they're not really together. They're just really, really good best friends. But it could be the complete opposite, because it's like you can love who you want to love. Some people like the stud, some people like femme. But I say it just doesn't really matter. But I know it is more common to see, but it's not like wrong to see stud on stud, femme on femme.
So I think I agree. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's this like normalization of like a man and a woman, and I think that's where that stems from. Like the stud and the femme, like it's, I don't know, like I feel like society just don't want to see like two studs or two femmes together, because it's like it's
not the norm.
Yeah, and I feel like when, like, even though being like in a relationship with another woman as a woman is definitely like looked down upon, I feel like when it's between like the stud and the femme kind of vibe, like it's more acceptable because it's the closest thing to being in a heterosexual relationship. For me, when we first got together, I was definitely more like masculine presenting, I will say, or like I don't know, like I wasn't in tune with that girly side, because when I was in my previous relationship, I felt that I had to do that, had to be the more masculine person, because I felt weird if I was still feminine, if that makes sense. But I think like going into this relationship, I was like, I could kind of let go of that pressure on myself to like present myself in a certain way, just wear what I want to wear. So like, yeah, some days I'll wear my baggy pants, my hoodie,
and have she looks hot,
and
whatever she wears.
And then yeah, some days I like want to like look cute and be a girl, like fuck it. And I know
and
this
have
like,
her belly exposed, as my dad likes to call it.
Oh my god, yeah, he'll be like, "Where's half your shirt?"
Or your belly's exposed. Aren't you cold? That cracks me up all the time.
Bro's my biggest hater. But yeah, I feel like I forgot what the term is, but like I just see so many women like they could pull off both. Like if y'all,
and she's one of them.
Like Kehlani, the singer, like she can literally pull off both, and it's like, girl, like you don't have to be a femme or stud, like you can be both. You can be whatever you want at any given moment. Like period. That's such a power move, first of all. But yeah, I think that's like, I feel like it's low-key societal standards that kind of give that like normalization, which is like sad. And it's like, but it doesn't undermine, like you could still be attracted to a more masculine presenting woman. Like she said, love whoever you want to love.
She looks great whether she dresses feminine with her belly out or wearing mask stuff. Like she'll wear my hoodies and stuff. Just for me, I'm always masked. That's just how I grew up. I think just because I always...
Yes, she was. When I look at her baby pictures, she's so cute.
Yeah, I'll just wear all the boy stuff. Just probably because, like, I grew up, like, because I've been playing basketball since I was, like, 4 or 5, so I was always around guys. Like, I never really got into the girl side, but if it was my mom's choice, we ain't gonna talk about that. But,
like, I think she was dressing like a girly girl when she was a kid, but then immediately when she got her choice, she's like, nah, did a 180. She turned into, that's your daddy, son.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you guys for listening. If you're listening or watching, if you're watching to these newest podcast episode, make sure you guys go check out Malia's Depop shop. Link will be in the description. Follow her on Insta and also follow us on Spotify. You can listen to this episode and our past episodes on Spotify as well. So make sure you guys like this video and subscribe, because we've got more podcasts planned. We've got more videos coming out for you guys. Have a good day, night, whenever you're listening, watching to this, and peace.